Thank you, Mr. Castro. Now we go to Mr. Mo Brooks of Alabama.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. In your opinion, is Russia's use of military force in Syria good or bad, productive or counterproductive?
Congressman Brooks, I think we've been pretty clear here that we do not think that Russia's military intervention is leading to a settlement of the Syrian conflict, that instead it is giving Assad confidence that he can stay in power.
Using words such as immoral to describe how bad Russia's conduct in Syria is that fair?
Assistant Secretary Patterson confirmed that word, and I don't have a problem with it either.
What thought has been given to using a diversion strategy whereby we force the Russian military to be engaged in different parts of the globe, thereby weakening their abilities to prosecute their military aggression in Syria? More specifically, how would a more aggressive military action in the Ukraine impact Russia's limited ability to expand its military operations in the Middle East? And by military action, I'm talking about where we arm the Ukrainians, thereby forcing the Russians to divert some of their military capabilities from Syria and other parts of the globe to Ukraine to try to protect the territory that they have either unlawfully invaded themselves or assisted their proxies in unlawfully invading.
Congressman, I think you know that we've had a ceasefire in Ukraine that has largely been holding, not completely, but largely been holding since September 1st. I'm confident that you would not be suggesting here that the Ukrainians reignite the war to draw the Russians deeper into conflict there. I don't think that would be good for Ukraine or for the stability of Europe.
Well, is this ceasefire in actuality just a way in which the Russians and their proxies can consolidate their territorial gains? Is that putting Ukraine in a position where they have to forfeit hopes of recapturing the land wrongfully taken by Russia and its proxies?
Congressman, under the Minsk agreement, as you know, the first step is ceasefire, the second step is pullback of weapons, then political progress in the Donbass, and then return of the territory and closure of the border. So what we are now starting to see for the first time in the 2 years of this conflict is some pullback of Russian and separatist weapons. So that is a good thing. We are seeing that in Luhansk, and now we're starting to see that in Donetsk, even though the ceasefire is not complete and we've had some tactical attacks in the last couple of days. So again, if you want Ukraine to get that territory back, if you want Minsk implemented, what's most important is to lean on Russia and the separatists to complete those obligations, pull back their weapons, and allow real elections and allow return of the border.
Well, as of today, given the shifting of military equipment, has any of the territory taken by Russia or its proxies been returned to the government of the Ukraine? Any significant amount of territory? And if you could, if you're going to be able to answer that, give us all an idea as to how much, what percentage of territory has been returned to the Ukraine after Russia's invasion, and how much has been kept in the hands of the Russians, keeping in mind that the Crimea itself is a rather large landmass.
So about 7% of Ukraine, if you count Crimea plus the occupation of eastern Ukraine, is lost to the control of the Ukrainian government. As I said, with this ceasefire and the beginning of pullback of heavy weapons, Ukrainian authorities have not had access to that territory, but increasingly OSCE monitors have had access, and we need to encourage and accelerate that process if we can get to—
One second. So is your answer to the question zero?
Zero.
As of today, zero land has been returned to the Ukrainian government?
As of today, zero.
How much in the way of weapons has the United States delivered to the Ukrainian government in order to enhance Ukraine's ability to defend its territory?
Congressman, through bipartisan generosity of both halves of this Congress, we have supplied over $266 million in security support for Ukraine. That includes extensive training of the National Guard, now moving on to training the military. We've provided lots of kinds of non-lethal assistance, including UAVs.
I'm talking about weaponry. What weaponry has been given to the Ukrainian government to enable it to defend its territory or to recapture territory taken by Russia?
It depends how you define weaponry, but we've provided counter-radar batteries, including short-range and now longer-range ones.
Any missiles?
UAVs. We have not provided lethal assistance to date.
No tanks?
No, but we have provided combat vehicles like Humvees, night vision, combat protection, et cetera.
Mr. Chairman, with indulgence, may I have 30 more seconds?
Yes, Mr. Brooks.
Thank you. The reason I mention this is due to the leadership of Congressman Engel, who is not here at the moment, of New York. The House passed a resolution in March of this year by a 348 to 48 vote, about an 88% to 12% bipartisan vote, which is overwhelming in the United States House of Representatives and to some degree a little bit unusual. And that resolution of the House of Representatives in an overwhelming bipartisan fashion stated, quote, that the House of Representatives strongly urges the President to fully and immediately exercise the authorities provided by Congress to provide Ukraine with lethal defensive weapon systems to enhance the ability of the people of Ukraine to defend their sovereign territory from the unprovoked and continuing aggression of the Russian Federation. I would hope that you would carry back to this administration that message with a double benefit. One is we help Ukraine fight against aggression, and two, I would submit that it weakens Russia and Syria, which in turn helps to alleviate some of the problems that we have there. Thank you for your indulgence.
Thank you, Mr. Brooks.